Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me again, Kingsley, and we are still in our series Looker Studio for Data Analysts. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through on how to connect data from different data sources. Are you ready? You know how we do it. Let's hop into my computer and do it. In our last section, we talked about the interface of Looker Studio, and we discussed extensively every part of this interface: the panel, property panel, data panel, the filter. We still talked about all these properties uh, and this menu, everything there. We also talked about pages. Today we want to focus more on the Today we want to talk about adding data. And there are three main ways you could add data to the Looker Studio. Now, this is the interface you see as we discussed in the last video. This is the interface you see when you have data on your Looker Studio. If you have not seen the last video, please check on the description. I will be posting the link to that last video so you get to understand the overall interface of how the Looker Studio works. Okay, so let's move on. We have three main ways to connect to data sources. The first one is here, add to data, and let's try it. So when you add data, so when this open, you see all the data connectors. Google has 23, and the their partners have 985, making it over 1,000 data connectors. Now I will close this and move on to the next way to connect to data sources. The next method is you come down to this data panel. At this point, you will see add a field, add a parameter, and add data. So when you click on data, add data, it pops up this same window for you to connect to your data sources. All right, that's the second one. Let's move on to the third one. When you come up here to the resource tab, you will see add manage added data sources. Manage added data sources. Click on it, and then it will pop up a window that shows us everything about all the data sources we have connected in the past, if there is any. Shows us the history and all the properties for that data source. I had already connected to customer data as you knew in the last video, and it's telling us that I have the customer data, and this my customer data is a CSV file. When you come here, when you go to the right, you will see that you can edit this data source. You can duplicate it, you can remove it completely. You can also make make it reusable. All right, so when you come down here, you will notice we have add a data source. That's the third way to add. When you click on it, it still brings us to this window. So I'm going to close it and move up here. Okay, so to add this, let me use the data panel here, add data, and I want to add a CSV data. So I'll scroll down to upload file. Here, I'm going to click on it. Okay, so it's showing me the ones I have added before. So on this interface, it tells you to either drag and drop the data, the file you want, either drag and drop the file you want, or you go to the location of the file wherever it is. All right, so I already have my data here, so I'm going to easily drag and drop it. That's my data, warehouse and retail sales. So I'll drag and drop it here, and that's how easy it is to connect to data. At this point, it shows you the status, and when it's successful, it will change. So it's processing. Let's wait for it. Excellent. So the data has successfully uploaded and it changed to green. Again, we have the name of the Again, we have the file format CSV. We have the name of the data source, the data set we have connected. You can see the size of the data is quite, we have over 300,000 data rows on this data, and it's a flat file, and the date it was uploaded on time. So, and that's how simple it is to connect to your data source. You just need to drag and drop or find out where it is. And to add it to my report, all I need to do is to add here. I could also create a new data set if I want. So I'm gonna add this. It's coming up. All right. All right, it's asking us to add to report if we want. If you don't want, you can cancel. So I'm going to add to the report. Then when it's added, we can see that, all right, so it's now added to our report. Now that it is added, you can see the data source here, sales, warehouse and retail sales. That's how to connect CSV data into Looker Studio. All right, so we're able to bring in the data set, the warehouse and retail sales, which is a CSV data. When you look at this data panel, you'll notice we now have two data sets. That is the customer data we had earlier, and then now the data warehouse now the warehouse and retail sales data. They are both CSV data. Next, let us connect to a data warehouse, BigQuery data warehouse. You heard that right. So this time, go to add data, and I will search for BigQuery, and you can see it here. BigQuery, that's Google BigQuery. I'll click on it. Because it needs authorization, I will authorize myself. Yes, I am happy with this email address. And all right, so here we are. When you look at the extreme left, you will see my project, shared projects, custom query. I am interested in on the public data set. That's what I am interested in. So I'll click on it, and here I have ETA project and my first project. So let's go to my first project. And as I came to my first project, you notice we have all this public data set, loads of them. You can try them if you want. There are several of them, but what I want is the Chicago one, the Chicago cyclist. So let's carefully find it. I could actually look for it. I could search for it here, which is faster. Chicago, and here we go. Chicago taxi trip. That's the one I want. So I'll click on it, which is a data set, and the table is opened. I'll click on the table. Here we go. You can see all the steps. Move from the public data set down to the billing account, which is the project, and we go to the data set itself and the table. So I will click on this and add. So it's coming up. Now we're done. So it's asking me to load it to the report. So I'm loading it to the report. And again, it was successful. Okay, here we are. The data has been successfully loaded to Looker Studio, and you could see the logo there. So the beautiful thing about Looker Studio is for every data you load in, it shows you the logo of the data connector. And here we are. If you check this taxi trip, you will see the BigQuery logo. It's there. And the other data that are CSV file, you could see the upload icon there, and that shows that it's a flat file and you're uploading from your local device. And here you have it, guys. That's how easy it is to load data from your BigQuery account. Now, next we'll try to load data from Google Sheets. So let's go and do that. We are successfully connected to two data sources aside the one we connected earlier in our first video. So we have the customer data set, we have taxi trip, and we have the warehouse and retail sales. So next, let's connect to a Google Sheet data using Google Sheets data connector. To do this, I will go to resource. So we've tried earlier using this add data down there, add data up here. Let's try using the resource. Click on resource, go to manage added data sources, and it brings up the data source interface. And as you can see, all our data sources are here, and we could do anything we want to do to them here. But I want to add more data sources, so I'll click here. And what do we want to do? Google Sheets. Here we go. Click on Google Sheets. It brings up all this. So you could see I could get through a URL, through the ones that are starred. I could open to a G drive. I could get the data that are shared with me, and even the ones that I own. And that's where I want to get. So I'm getting the data from the data set I created myself. And that's it, supply chain. So I will click this supply chain. I want to get the sheet. If there are multiple sheets, it will show here. So I want to get a sheet. Then next is used first row as header. So I want it to use first row as header. I'll come in here, I will add the data. All right, so here we go. It's added successfully. I will then go to report. Click here to go to report, add it to the report, and let's see all our data. Here we go. CS customer data set, taxi trip from BigQuery, supply chain from Google Sheets, and again, warehouse and retail sales from CSV. And that is it. We've been able to connect to three data sets through three different data connectors. BigQuery, which is data warehouse. We've been able to connect to Google Sheets. We've been able to connect to CSV from our local machine. And that is it. Welcome back. All right, delivered as promised. We just connected to different data sources, and it's so beautiful. Guys, if you're getting value from this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give this video a like and a thumbs up. Remember to hit that bell icon so that you'll be the first to know whenever I upload any video. Thank you, and see you in the next video.